Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this special figure showcase and review we're going to be looking at the 2010 Reveal the Shield Perceptor figure. So what we're going to do in this video, we're going to have a detailed look at him in both of his modes to help you decide how you want to display him. We'll then do some comparisons with him and his original Generation 1 self, so we can see obviously how he's changed loads from that, and indeed of course how his alternate mode has changed from being a microscope. But this isn't the only other version where he's been a vehicle. We've of course got the little Legends version that came out a few years before, and then of course we can see how they've managed to update him and indeed I suppose make better versions each and every time until we get to this one. But for now then, we're going to just be looking at the Reveal the Shield one. And as I start to put all these back, I'd like to remind anybody who's not a subscriber to this channel, if they'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now please, because again it really will help me out. So this is quite an interesting little toy line actually, known as Reveal the Shield, commonly known as, or you may hear Transformer fans and collectors refer to the line as Chug, even though it's not a classic, a Henkai, a Universe or a Generations figure. It sort of fits within the Generations toy line, and the brilliant thing about this is the Reveal the Shield is what they've done is they bring the rub sign back in basically for some classic figures. So you've got Perceptor, you've got Trax, you've got Jazz, and a few figures like that. So it's a good little, I suppose, mini sub toy line. Now the alternate mode is quite interesting, and I've got to confess it was something that I'd never seen or could even relate to, I suppose, because I was missing only really collecting Generation 1 in around 2010, so I'd not really seen this, I'd not really read IDW, and it's interesting to find out that it's more based on Guido Guidi's design from IDW. It does look good though, and I suppose if you're going to make him have an interesting alternate mode apart from a microscope, then this is indeed that. Now my issue with this is this doesn't even go around at all. I suppose it looks pretty good, let's be honest, and usually I don't start my reviews in this alternate mode, but because it is in the packaging that way, it's easier to start it. It looks pretty good. I've tried to find out what this means. There's no definitive meaning of what the number plate is, although I think it might be Bill Rawley's daughter, but we're not 100% sure. That's just that we're thinking it could be perhaps her birth date. Not confirmed. If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments, because I'd love to know. The gun on the top, you can't really do much to, in honesty. I suppose you can transform it into the weapon, which it looks like it is used in robot mode. That will still fit together like that, and I suppose it gives it a bit of a different look. And unlike today's figures, and especially today's Generations figures, you can see there is literally nothing, there's no other ports, there's nowhere that you can attach any other weapons to it really. So it's quite a boring alternate mode. Translucent yellow in the window, which it's not too bad, but that means you can see quite a bit of, I suppose, things that are going on inside. However, no visible head syndrome, which was good. Yellow headlights, which looks great. I like the colour scheme. It's a great homage to the original, and the teal on there as well. I like the fact that the arms are pretty much covered up quite well. You can only see them on the underside. It's not a bad figure, to be honest. The only thing that really lets this down, and whether or not it's mine, because mine's an old one, and it could have been heavily played with, because I did purchase this secondhand quite recently. The transformation process is awful and very loose, and we'll have a look at that in a second in the robot mode. There's not really much more to say about the alternate mode. What we can do though is we can have a quick look at this packaged one here and see that's exactly how they've packaged him as well. This is, as I say, the Hasbro version. There is a Japanese version which has like silver trim and everything around there. Do you know what, that looks a little bit like it, with a different sort of like metallic-y red scheme on it, and indeed the silver there, which isn't on this particular guy, which you will see in a second. Robot mode though looks great. It's a brilliant homage to his G1 self. I'm just going to hold that there and say pause, just in case anybody wants to read that now themselves. And then without further ado, in fact no, before we go to the robot mode, as I say, we've got this little Legends version of Perceptor which came out in 2006, which is the only other version that I've ever seen him as, I suppose, an alternate mode, which is not a microscope. Or indeed, I suppose they do sometimes make a tank with the G1 mode as well. But this is the, suppose, actual standalone, definitive, deluxe vehicle version of him. But that's enough for the vehicle mode. Let's have a look at him in his robot mode and do some more comparisons. Okay then, I'm back and he's in his alternate mode, and quick apologies for no transformation process on this video. Couple of reasons. One is to keep the main length of the video down, and two is not to spoil it for anybody who doesn't want to see it if they're thinking of purchasing one for themselves. But funnily enough, with this one, and again I said at the beginning, I've always found the transformation process quite awkward with this. Maybe it's just my copy. Please leave a note in the comments, or indeed let me know. I've uploaded the transformation process video separately. And another reason is I've checked online, and there's so many different pictures and images of where these shoulder parts should go. As you can see, they move up and down quite freely. They don't seem to tab or lock in anywhere, and I've had a quick look around, and I'm wondering whether it's because mine's quite heavily played with. And indeed, even on some of the images, as soon as you type in reveal the shield Perceptor online, check out the robot image, there's so many different versions of where the shoulders go, and on that it doesn't even give you much detail either. With that, it looks like it's coming down there, but as you can see, again, could be mine, might just be the fact that it doesn't fit into place. However, in robot mode, he looks great, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm just going to keep him in this mode from now on and won't be transforming him anyway. So we've got the lovely vacuumized metal parts here. We've got the chrome there on the side, lovely homage to G1 there, even on the chest as well, exactly the same. It's quite cold in here today, so but again, I do know that this works. It's a brilliant rub sign, and of course usually the Autobot emblem would appear there. The head itself is again great homage to G1. It does move around, and it can pop up and down as well, but that is mainly due to transformation process. I imagine it's supposed to be like a big reveal. There is of course the weapon on the top. We can slide this forward as well, which looks really good. The sight is at the top as well there. Articulation wise, you can see shoulders, ball and socket. Waist doesn't have a swivel, it needs to click back into position like that though. You can see the hips have got ball and socket, knees have got a bend, and you've got a full ball and socket on the feet as well. So a lot of articulation for a figure that is quite old. See what I mean about that? That keeps coming off. Let's do some comparisons then. I think it should be up there, and it does, I suppose, tab in slightly, but they do just look, I suppose, they're a bit suspended. There is the original G1, and as you can see, lovely homage on the sides with these circular discs, and at the front I think it looks great. I could put this on the other side as well if you wanted. Can I do that without breaking it? No, I can't. I'd have to readjust it. I was going to say just to give you the same effect as that on that side. Funnily enough, on all the other ones I've got as well, I've just noticed, let's move this out of the way, let's get rid of the glare. There's the original, there's the 2011, and we've got the Titans one. And again, as you can see, I've put the weapon, let's just make a bit of space, or it looks like it should be, let's forget that, on this side. And then indeed the Studio Series 86 version has it on this side. Interesting. Whereas funnily enough, the 2006 one, which I can't move, which is only the teeny one, is on the left side as well. So that's an interesting thing that again I've just noticed myself. But I suppose you've got here right in front of you, apart from this little diddy one who breaks the norm, you've got the evolution of Perceptor right there in front of you. And again, it's quite, what I like about them, withstanding this, is they've all got their own, I suppose, identities. We've obviously got Generation 1, we've got a bit of an IDW one here, and of course we've got the cartoon movie based one. This one isn't too bad, to be fair. It didn't need to be a Titan Master, but you can see again they've all got these lovely homages to the fact that the metal on the side. Not really much more to say about this guy, to be fair. As I say, if you were wondering what chug stood for, it does stand for them. It stands for Classics, Henkei, Universe or Generations, and this guy fits in what's known as the Generations toy line, even though it is a Reveal the Shield, which was released pretty much coincidingly with Hunt for the Decepticons and some other movie-based figures at the same time. So if you're searching for him, you can just type in Reveal the Shield or RTS. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think of him. And of course, please correct me if I'm wrong. Have a look at the transformation if I'm doing something wrong, if it's mine. If, I don't know, just let me know. I'm open, of course, to any criticism and indeed feedback, because it'll only help me with my knowledge of these figures as well. Once again, thank you very much for watching and take care.